I'm still a little confused when it comes to the Pennsylvania lawsuit. Does that have teeth, and what does all that mean with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court?
Of all the litigation that's out there, this Pennsylvania lawsuit is regarded as the one that is most promising for the Trump campaign. But let me just break it down for you. This has to do with a batch of votes that would have come in between Tuesday and Friday, today. Now, under the law and under the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's decision, those votes had to be sent by Election Day. OK, you could not send them after Election Day. But if they arrived by Friday, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said, we'll count them. The Trump campaign and the Republicans objected. They took it up to the United States Supreme Court, which said, you know what? Let's wait. Let's see if this becomes relevant. It's too early to even get into this mess. Why don't you segregate those Tuesday to Friday votes, we'll call them, put them in a different pile. And if it becomes relevant, if it becomes an issue in the election, if it becomes something that could actually change the outcome, we'll look at it. We'll have a pile of them. We'll know exactly how many are there. And that is what Senator Toomey is talking about. I mean, let's bring Chuck and Kasie into this conversation. I guess the question is, how many potentially of those votes are there? Let's call them the Tuesday to Friday votes, those sent by Election Day that may have arrived a few days later. How many potentially are there, and could they make a difference?
We don't know how many there are. It is a question that I've not gotten clarity on, and we keep wanting to do. Are any of them included in the vote count now? I mean, look, the decision to segregate them was smart, because if you didn't, then all of a sudden it would have been, well, you've messed up the entire ballot, you've messed up the integrity of the count. So setting them aside, and what was interesting is this was a decision by the Pennsylvania Secretary of State and their elections division said, we better set it aside almost in anticipation of the next round being, well, you better not count those ballots. So honestly, I still think there's some confusion. I am confused. Have they counted the ballots, or are they literally sitting in a corner in that room that we keep showing? That's the Philadelphia room, but in all of the different places. And we don't know how many ballots there are.
Right. But to reassure people, you know, if this does become an issue, it sounds like the Pennsylvania authorities have set them aside so this can go through a proper process. Right. It's messy. We don't know if it'll amount to anything, but it's there. And the other thing I'll add is that when the United States Supreme Court did look at this issue, and as I said, they tabled it. They said, let's wait and see if it becomes relevant. That was a 4-4 court. There were 8 members on the court at that moment. Amy Coney Barrett didn't take part because she had just arrived. But if it comes up before the Supreme Court again, the question will be, will she be a part of that decision-making? Would she recuse herself? That's kind of what's happening
Pete Williams
now.
has noted that if there is a pattern with the Supreme Court, they're more deferential to state legislatures than they are, certainly the conservative end of the court, than they are to state courts.
Yes. And big picture here, let's not forget, of course, the number of ballots is relevant because of the margin in Pennsylvania. So the wider that margin is, the less likely any of this is to matter at all. Also, if this comes down to Pennsylvania, we still have a lot of states out there on the map, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, that potentially have a path for for former Vice President Biden. And the other thing I just wanted to draw attention to, Savannah, it really caught my ear when Senator Toomey, and I know you would have asked him about this, but he brought it up unprompted, that he had watched the president's speech last night, that it was very hard to watch. Now, he, of course, is planning to retire from the Senate in the next couple of years, but I think that he was very public in his notes of caution, and that reflects a deep reluctance on the part of many in the president's party to get too far out there on all of these allegations.
That's what we're going to see.
If there's evidence, bring it. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's where the tension is, because you see some Republican members circling the wagons and saying, oh, there's something going on here. And then you have other Republican members saying, hold on a minute, there is not one scintilla of evidence that there's any fraud. Let's get the votes counted.
By the way, Pat Toomey has kept some, I would call, professional distance from Donald Trump the entire 4 years.